Hey guys, so not my normal content. I know I normally don't do vlogs. I normally don't post on Saturdays. So this is something that I know is so not normal for this channel. I do kind of want to start filming vlogs just a little bit more. To give you guys more of like a behind the scenes day in my life, like what it's actually like living in Australia, not just having videos talking about Australia. Don't mind the whole mess in the background, all my skincare stuff and whatnot. I need to find a better way to organize some of this. Like, I really need to go through and like clear out the stuff that I don't use on a regular basis. There's also a spider up on my roof and I'm trying not to get in that corner of the room because even though it's not one of the dangerous ones, I still don't like spiders. But yeah, so hi, welcome to another angle of my little office, my filming space. And yeah, so as you can see in the title, I am going in for surgery. I was hoping that it wouldn't come down to this, but no, it is a very minor procedure. Let me start off with that. There's nothing major. It's nothing life-threatening or anything like that. I am very, very lucky in that sense. So what I'm going in for is a very minor procedure. So just a heads up, if you don't like hearing about women's health and birth control and surgeries and whatnot, this probably isn't going to be a video that you really want to watch. So you might want to skip this one and watch one of my other videos. I will do more vlogs and give you guys more updates. But I just came back from the hospital today, hence like literally the most casual t-shirt, no makeup, hair's not even done. Like, I need a shower, my hair's getting greasy. I went to an OBGYN specialist over here to have my IUD removed. And for anybody who doesn't know what an IUD is, it's not an IED. Mark has made that joke a few times. No, an IUD is like an almost T-shaped little piece of basically some sort of medical grade plastic that is inserted into a woman's uterus. It has two strings that dangle down past the cervix and into the actual opening. Like, I will insert pictures. I'm not a medical professional. I'm sure half of what I just said is to some degree medically incorrect, but this is something where if you really want to know what an IUD is, Google it, look it up yourself. There's so much out there. But I had a Mirena IUD put in back in 2018 and it's been giving me problems, especially over the last couple of months. I've been having really bad cramps, irregular bleeding, which I never had to experience before, and I couldn't feel the strings after a couple months here. So I knew something was wrong. This isn't normal. You're supposed to be able to feel the strings and whatnot. And the bleeding was what really made me think that there was an issue, because I had an IUD back in, I think, 2015 into 2016. So I didn't have it for very long. I think it was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. But I never had any issues with bleeding and whatnot. I haven't had any issues with the strings. They were able to remove it fairly easily a few years ago, so I thought that they'd still be able to remove it pretty easily over here. And it turns out that these strings have actually tucked themselves all the way up into my uterus, which means they can't pull it out like they normally would. I have to go in for actual surgery to have it done. So I have to go in for what I think is called a hyperectomy. I don't remember the full term. I'll figure it out and name it down below for you guys so you can know what it's actually called. But that is the type of surgery I'm going in for. It's a very minor procedure. It should be pretty quick because all they do is insert a sort of camera probe up into the uterus to see where the strings are, dilate my cervix a little bit, and then use, I think, forceps to just pull the IUD out. Because it's so invasive and intensive, they can't do that while I'm awake, because even just trying to get the strings out of my cervix earlier was very painful. So because this is just a generally painful procedure, they do put people under anesthesia and you go in for an actual surgery. So definitely not what I was hoping to hear when I went to the doctors today. I went to my GP. She wasn't able to remove it, so she gave me a referral to a specialist. The specialist wasn't able to remove it, so now I have to go back in for surgery. In a way, I'm lucky. Even though I'm not on Medicare, I do have my private insurance, so I was able to get booked into the private hospital, which does have less of a wait time. I remember in the healthcare video, like my ER stories video, a lot of people have commented that Medicare, there is a longer wait. And that is definitely true. If you do have Medicare compared to private insurance over here in Australia, Medicare does typically have longer wait times, especially because of COVID. Like, the hospitals are slowly starting to catch up to these optional procedures. So even though I don't have Medicare, I have private insurance and was able to get a quicker appointment. So my surgery is scheduled for July 1st. And honestly, this is the first time I've ever had actual surgery. Like, I don't think, and maybe it does, having your wisdom teeth removed, I don't know if that ever actually counts as a surgery or not. So I am going in for surgery on July 1st. Fingers crossed, say a prayer that everything goes okay. Even though this is a very, very minor procedure, there's always some sort of risk, even if it's a minor risk, whenever anybody has any type of surgical procedure. So I'm nervous. I've never had to go into a hospital for surgery before. I don't really know what to expect, and I think it's the not knowing what to expect that has me nervous. But in a way, I'm kind of glad that I'm going in now for something that's very minor and something that won't take long, something where I should be in and out within a day. I think once I wake up, as long as there's nothing major that had to happen during the surgery and it was just an easy removal, I should hopefully be able to leave in the same day. The only thing that has me a little bit worried is going back and forth. So the hospital is about 50-ish minutes away from our house, which means I have to get an Uber there and back. I don't drive, and Mark at this time, we only have his motorbike, which for the two of us up until now has been perfectly fine. Even though I think everyone's been hit with the gas prices lately, it hasn't affected us as much as it has a lot of other people because he just has the bike. It's also winter, so we're not going out as much. So in a way, we've been able to save a lot with that, but now this is one of those few times where I'm like, I really wish we just had a car instead of the motorbike. We're probably going to get a car sometime next year. That's in our plans, but right now we don't. And obviously we're not going to go and jump the gun and get a car for one day of procedures where I could just go back and forth in an Uber. Maybe if worst case scenario and he has to come with me, then we could probably ask to borrow somebody's car for the day. I don't see that he would need to be there, but I also don't know the hospital's rules. I remember in the States, some hospitals wouldn't let you leave unless you had somebody there with you who was going to be in the car with you, so that way you weren't driving home afterwards. Now that Uber's become a thing, I don't know if that's still a requirement. I don't know this hospital's rules, but I'm hoping that it's not going to be a necessity, or at least as long as I sign off that I'm going to get an Uber or I'm not going to be driving myself after surgery, that will be a green light and I can go ahead and go straight home right after the procedure's finished and I'm dismissed, checked out of the hospital. Discharged, that's the word I'm looking for, after I'm discharged from the hospital. So I was hoping to get the IUD removed today. Obviously it didn't happen. I am really, really thankful actually that I was able to get surgery booked in 2 weeks. That's pretty quick turnaround time, especially post-COVID, but it's also like 3.5 weeks before our trip to Hawaii, which I'm really, really excited for. There won't be any issues. Everything will be completely healed up and whatnot. There's not really going to be a long recovery time. I'm probably going to be sore for a couple days afterwards, but really that's it. So I'm glad that everything will be done and taken care of. I won't have any issues with bleeding or weird cramps or anything like that while we're in Hawaii, especially with the American healthcare system. I'm not knocking the quality of the American healthcare system, but between my horror story and I think just the general knowledge of how bad the healthcare system can be and how much it can cost, I'm really glad that I'm getting this taken care of now, so that way if there are any issues that could have come up, it's not happening in the States and going to cost thousands of dollars. Yes, we do have travel medical insurance, obviously. That is ready to go for Hawaii. We booked that the same day that we booked our flights. We had also booked COVID tests through a histopath, but it turns out that a couple days after we booked, they made an announcement that you don't need a negative COVID test to go into the US anymore, so we scrapped those. We're not going to need negative COVID tests to go into Hawaii. So I'm so glad that things are scheduled well in advance ahead of our trip that it is a minor surgery, and this kind of gives me a chance to see just what it is like, because I know when people have to go in for surgery, it's normally something a little bit more major than this, which just adds to the stress and adds to the anxiety the first time somebody has to go in for surgery. So it's good to have something minor like this so I can kind of have an idea of what to expect, because let's face it, in this day and age, it's very rare to meet somebody who has never had to have any kind of surgery before. So I'm sure at some point in my life I'm going to need some sort of surgery again. Hopefully not, but it's the reality. It seems like that's kind of the day and age we live in. And I will at least know what to expect with these kinds of procedures. So yeah, I know it's a little bit cheesy to say, but like, thoughts, prayers, good healing vibes, please, so that way everything goes smoothly on the first. I will update you guys probably on my community page, because let's face it, when you do a video, there's still like the actual filming and then editing and then uploading and creating a thumbnail. Like, there's a huge process to it that I'm probably not going to get a video up on that day or the following day with an update for you guys. So subscribe and check out the community page if you want to be updated. I will let you know how things go on the first, but please, your well wishes really, really do help. So I also wanted to throw this out there. So I really want to get a new backdrop for filming. So let me show you the space that I'm currently in. So that is my little filming area right next to the giant stack of storage and a toolbox. So we were able to clear out enough of the storage in the other room that we could probably put the boxes and whatnot in our other room. But like, this is literally my entire filming area. So I'd like something a little bit but yeah, that is my entire filming area, so I would like something that isn't just a couple of small little shelves behind me like that with some really kitschy stuff behind it. I do like having some Australia stuff behind me, but I'd like a little bit more of a mix. Debating on whether or not I want to get one of those giant bookshelves from IKEA. I'll post a picture of what I'm thinking of maybe doing that up along the wall and getting an actual chair, not one that swivels like this, because I'm one of those people who, if I sit in a chair that swivels, I'm going to be like fidgety and swiveling the entire time. It will drive people nuts, I'm sure, if they see me doing that over and over again. So I'm thinking of getting a new backdrop. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough stuff to fill that bookshelf. That's one of the things that I'm like a little hesitant about. It doesn't come out too far, so I could still get into the closet that's next to me, but there are so many shelves, and even though you're only going to see a few on screen, I don't know if I'm really going to have enough to fill that up. I also don't want it to look like you just walked into an Australia souvenir shop. Like, I do like some of the stuff in the background. Some of it I want to keep, some of it I'm probably going to not use, or maybe just put on a shelf that's like off screen or off camera. But yeah, if you guys have any ideas for what I could put in the background, what I can use to fill up some of these shelves, let me know in the comments down below, because I like the idea of getting the bookshelf. I like the idea of getting a proper chair and maybe a little desk or something like that next to me. It's something small. But overall, I am kind of stumped as to what in the world I would actually put on these shelves. So please let me know. I am far from an interior decorator. So if you guys have any good ideas, please let me know. So yeah, that is it for this little vlog, this little catch up. Thanks for letting me talk. I know, believe me, this is not going to be like my normal all the time content. Like, I'm not a vlog YouTuber for the most part, but I do want to start incorporating some vlogs to give you an idea of like what's going on behind the scenes, what's going on in my life, what's going on living in Australia, instead of just talking about like Australian foods that I like and ranking Tim Tams and things like that. I love doing those videos, but I want to give you guys a little bit more too without losing that content. So I'm going to try to do vlogs a little bit more. I don't know if I'm going to post 3 times a week. I do have a full-time 40-hour-a-week job, so that would be a lot. But I can promise I will definitely be doing that minimum 1 video a week on Mondays. I want to do like the typical Australia videos that you guys seem to know and love on this channel. On Thursdays, it might be a mix of vlogs or a mix of other American, Australian type content. So stay tuned. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys like vlog style videos at all. Believe me, this channel is not going to be bombarded with them, but I do like actually vlogging a little. So I kind of want to get into this a bit more. So yeah, that's it for this video, you guys. I have talked long enough, probably talked your ears off. So if you like this, please hit the like, subscribe button down below. Join the little Amer-Australian family over here on Kinda Australian, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.